Howdy folks. Those who have been following this channel might see this as a departure from our normal content. For those of you who stick with me, you will see in time how this all comes together. But that question will not be answered in this video. This brief talk will not prove prophecy through scientific method. This talk also will not prove the scientific method through prophecy. We will not establish the truth or falsehood of any scientific theory or any prophetic tradition. What this talk will do is show the logical consistency between the two, and we will illustrate that modern science and these prophetic traditions are not only not in conflict, they're quite consistent with one another. We will also show that it is logically inconsistent to accept the feasibility of one and not the other. So whatever thoughts and beliefs you bring into this conversation about science or about prophetic traditions, that is irrelevant to the question at hand. The question is the idea of the second coming of Jesus Christ consistent or inconsistent with our current understanding of physical science? If you are coming from the perspective that the return of Jesus Christ is feasible or even expected, or whether you view this as pure fiction or even worse, a lie, this is all irrelevant to the question at hand. The question is the return of Jesus Christ feasible based on current understanding of our material world? If you can't even get your brain around the question, it might be easier to look at this as simply a thought experiment. I do assert that accepting the feasibility of one and not the other is itself logically inconsistent. If you are familiar with the story of Jesus Christ, and especially if you view this as an important topic, you are likely approaching it from either a Christian perspective or an Islamic perspective. And on the most simple, direct level, the differences of approaches center around the crucifixion and the resurrection. Whether you understand this story as Jesus dying on the cross, being resurrected, and then ascending into heaven, or if you're coming from the perspective that Jesus in fact did not die on the cross, all the ones who intended to kill him were led to believe that they did, once the story comes back to the ascension and the prophecy that he will return, these two stories are rejoined. The case we make today is focused exclusively on the ascension and the predicted return of Jesus Christ. Once we understand this context, the explanation is actually very simple. According to Einstein's special and general theories of relativity, as an object approaches the speed of light, time dilates or expands. So to the object moving very rapidly, time seems to progress at the same rate as it does in our frame of reference. And if that object were to slow back to the scale of motion that we experience, compared to the time scale within which we operate, less time would have passed for that object moving towards the speed of light. The simple example often given to illustrate this is if you take two twins, one accelerates near the speed of light for some amount of time, relative to Earth time. When that twin returns, the twin that remained on Earth would be older than the twin that had left. And from that point forward, they would progress at the same rate. So in the story of Jesus Christ, it makes perfect sense that from our perspective, 2,000 years or more may have passed, but when Jesus were to return, he would be relatively the same age when he left. And the longer that time passes on Earth, the more extreme the differences would be. So that's the simple argument. And again, we're not proving anything true or false. We're talking about logical consistency. We'll continue to go deeper into Quranic and biblical teachings. We'll go into the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, Feynman et al., quantum electrodynamics. And if you're here for nutrition and athleticism, personal health, wellness, longevity, don't worry. The pace of that is not going to slow down. And as promised, all of these topics will continue to come together into one coherent picture. I'll do my best to entitle videos in such a way that you have some idea of what you're getting into. We have a no clickbait policy here. And remember, the point of all these videos is to share knowledge, ideas, and to learn from one another and to learn together. And for that to happen, you know where the comment section is. I'm so happy we're here together. I think if we continue down this path, I think we're going to find ourselves in some very interesting, unexpected places. I look forward to next time, and in the meantime, take care of yourselves and others, and remember, you are never alone.